Hello, and welcome back. Thank you for being here. It is Wednesday night, and I apologize for last week. I was ready to go, and then I wasn't ready to go. By the way, we have a storm coming through here, and we have Starlink, and we have trees overhead. So if I go fuzzy, just bear with me. So I've got an interesting topic to talk about tonight, and I'm glad you're here for this. And I sent in the email the thumbnail for this was what do you do when your trading strategy dies? And that is being just a little bit exaggerated, but a lot of us feel that way sometimes, that we've been trading this thing for a while, and sort of out of the blue it's been working, and out of the blue it just turns off. We can have this happen to us in other areas of life, whether it's your job or losing weight or whatever it is. You feel like I'm having some success, and now suddenly, with not really anything changing, I'm not having any success. Is there such a thing as a life cycle of a trading strategy, and what do we do about that? Well, and I've got some verses I want to read about that in just a minute. But the first thing that I encourage everyone to do when you feel like, hey, something's not right, something's not working here in my trading strategy. Generally speaking, there's three reasons. There's really only three culprits that you can point your fingers at. Is it you? Is it the market? Or is it your system? And spoiler alert, 95% of the time when something's gone wrong, it's you. It's me. All right. We are the ones that cause the most problems. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that you've managed to rule out you. How do you do that? Well, first things first, I would highly encourage everybody to have some version of their system that is automated, whether that is through an indicator or through an EA, whatever it is. Have some method to automate it. But let's say, you don't have it automated. What you do is you go back and you back test this period of time that has gotten you thinking my system is broken. Because when you back test, you always trade your rules 100%. You always follow your trade plan. You never break rules. Your compliance is there. So go back and back test that period of time. If you could do it automated, even better. And if you get different results in your back test, if you get better results in your back test than you got live, probably you, right? I mean, if this trade that happened from September 1st to September 3rd that you took was a loser, but you went back and back tested it and it would have been a winner, what would be the difference? It'd be you. So that's how you can, number one, rule out you. Go back and take an honest look at the period of time we're talking about and run your test, run your demo. Just take those trades as if you're taking them live and see if you get the same results. See if the same thing happens. If it doesn't, you get different results. It's you. It's not a system, it's you. All right, but let's say, for the sake of argument, you've done that. It's not working. All right, now go back and look at your system on a different time frame. All right, take that same, let's say it was I've been struggling on mine from middle of August to now. It's just been terrible. So I can go back and look at last year. What did last year's August 15th to September 24th look like? But the year before, there's something happening in the market during that time frame. So try to rule out any market conditions that might have affected you. Maybe it is just a seasonal thing. There are seasonal elements that affect all of our trading. The Santa Claus rally is usually a thing. The go away in May and stay away, or whatever it's called, is usually a thing. August is always a bad month for lots of strategies and economies. There are cycles. Go back and see if there's anything in those cycles. And then lastly, you come to all right, it's not me. I can't find anything different in the market. What's wrong with my system? Well, make sure that your system didn't predict this. But let's say, for this, again, sake of argument, and by the way, we would have covered 95% of all those issues up to now. But you back test, you said, look, my system didn't call for this. This is what is happening right now is just, it's so out of the ordinary. I don't know what to do. I feel like my trading's broken. I'm discouraged, all of that. Let me read you now from Ecclesiastes chapter 3. We're starting with verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. Now, a lot of you are saying, hang on, I know that song. Yes, yes. It's from the Byrds, with a Y, from the 60s. They kind of stole it from Solomon. But anyway, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to gain and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away. Does that not sound like trading? A time to gain and a time to lose. I was thinking about this today in my system. I've been trading my system now for 3 years. And I've noticed some issues with my system. You don't want to be so emotionally invested in your system that you are unwilling to change. But at the same time, you don't want to jump too early. You don't want to pull the plug, pull the ripcord, punt, whatever. You don't do that too early. Now, granted, 3 years, probably. I'm probably past the point of being a little impetuous when it comes to pulling the plug. But I love this. It says a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to keep, and a time to throw away, a time to plant, a time to harvest. Those are all elements of starting and stopping, building and tearing down, planting and harvesting. And there is nothing wrong with recognizing that there's something in this system that is just not working. Everything happens in cycles, but we don't know the length of those cycles. If you look at the chart of anything, you'll see everything is a wave. I remember I was watching some video, one of these social media bros who's leaning up against a Lamborghini, bragging about how much money he made in the yen this was last year, maybe this was early this year. So I think it was 2024. He was bragging about how much money he made in the yen, trading the yen in 2024. I'm like, dude, look at every single yen pair out there, because they all end in JPY. They're all the same direction. It's a 45-degree up angle. My crackhead of a dog over here could have made money in the yen, going long the yen in 2024, because it was just an upcycle. Now, as soon as 2024 came to a close, so did the upcycle, and now it's in a down cycle. So you may think, okay, well, last August, this August, maybe there's a 6-month cycle, maybe there's a 3-month cycle, maybe there's a 5-year cycle. You don't know. It's not going to just die and be forever dead. That's not how markets work. So you think, well, I've heard this idea of a life cycle of a system. What do? It's the circle of life. No. Anyway, I know. I'm sorry. But just because I say it's not dead, he's dead, Jim, from Star Trek. It's not dead. But if the down cycle lasts long enough, it might as well be dead. Does that make sense? You say, okay, well, this strategy is doing this, and it's kind of peaked, and now it's going back down again. I've been trading it for a year now. Well, okay, that downtrend in your strategy and your effectiveness of that strategy might also last a year, which is almost the same as it stopped, as if it stopped working. It's doing what it predicted to do, but it's just you're going on this long cycle, and you don't want to live through a year of down cycle. So here's one of the things that I have discovered in myself, and I have found recently, is that when you are trading something long enough, you can actually start to stagnate as a trader. The last thing any one of us wants to do is to stop growing. We're supposed to be growing daily in our walk with Christ every day. We're supposed to be growing daily in our relationships and everything that we do. We want our account to grow. Well, we also need to be growing as a trader. And there is a danger. I'm not saying it's likely, it's probable, but I'm saying it's possible. There is a danger that you have a system and it's working and everything is on cruise control, that you stop that exploration of new things. And to be honest, sometimes that complacency can set in You know, it's a slippery slope between complacency and what would be a negative emotion that's not as bad as hatred. It's a slippery slope between complacency and fatigue. I'm tired of trading. I've been trading this system now for 3 years, for whatever it is, and yeah, it does all right. It could be better. Just sort of floating along. Honestly, that comes from a place of complacency and stagnation. Once you stop growing as a trader, that's when that will set in. And you can lose the joy of trading. Joy trading? Available now at Shopify. So if anybody, by the way, if anybody out there has been waiting for us to get Apple Pay and Google Pay, Godly Trading is now, if you just go to Godly Trading, it's now officially on Shopify. So you go to Godly Trading, go to buy the book, and you can get all those Apple Pay, Google Pay, Bob Pay, Pepper Pay, all those things are available through Shopify. Anyway, you lose the joy of trading when you don't keep going. David, which is interesting here. David said in Psalm 51, restore to me the joy of your salvation. You think, well, hang on, how can we lose? Is it possible to lose the joy of being saved? Well, David clearly felt something like that. Otherwise, he wouldn't have written, restore to me the joy of it. And if you can lose something like that, then sure, you can lose the enthusiasm for trading. And in our quest to be successful traders and to be disciplined and trade emotionless, it is somewhat counterintuitive to be encouraging you to have this emotion over here, which is enthusiasm. But you really do need to enjoy what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, I'm sort of trading robotically. I'm doing my thing. It's 3:30 and I got to go clickety and go on with life. But at some point, and this has happened to me in the last 6 months, at some point it's gone from, okay, 3:30, it's time to trade, to 3:30, it's time to trade. See the difference there? And that comes from just stagnation. Paul says in Romans 12, he talks about the renewing of your mind, and honestly, renewing of your mind daily. So one of the things I would encourage everybody to do is don't stop trading, don't stop learning. Always be reading books if you're a book reader. I highly recommend. There's several that I recommend for everyone. My favorite book of all, for a couple of reasons, called The Way of the Turtle by Curtis Faith. The second half of the book is very technical, talks about his system. Just ignore that if you want. If you can look at the system if you want to, but first half is a great account of being plucked out of obscurity and taught how to trade. Market Wizards is a great one. Sort of the granddaddy of them all. Well, you got Mark, whatever his last name is, has Trading in the Zone. But my favorite granddaddy of them all is Trading for a Living by Dr. Alexander Elder. Dude actually, like, he was a doctor on board a Soviet aircraft carrier or a Soviet destroyer and hopped the fence in the late 70s and run through the streets of Somalia to the American embassy. Anyway, fantastic book. Always be reading, always be learning. One of the best places to do that is go to YouTube and just start watching videos of people who trade a system completely different from yours. Not that you're going to start trading like them, but they're going to say something. And that something is going to spark in you an idea. And it can be completely different. The key to the system that I'm currently trading, the key to making it work was a random comment on a Discord channel that I was reading one day, and went from having one line to a channel, and that's what made all the difference. Just some random comment. After you watch, spend some time, carve out some time every week to say, hey, I'm going to try out some new ideas. I don't like counter trend trading, but I'm going to try it just to stretch myself. I am a committed trend trader, but I'm going to try Bollinger Band reversal just to stretch myself. Go out and experiment with these things. My family was the beneficiary of about 10 years. We watched Good Eats almost every night as a family. I loved the science of cooking, learning why things were, and I would go and I would test things out. He would make things that I did not like to eat. I spent like 2 weeks mastering the art of chocolate eclairs. Haven't made a chocolate eclair in 15 years, much to the chagrin of Mr. Producer and my wife. Donuts, just all manner of things. I just enjoyed trying them out, even though I wasn't going to ever continue to eat them. Same thing with this. James says, James 1:22, he says, don't just be hearers of the word, but be doers of the word. So watch these videos, read these books, and then go out and experiment with it. Try it. Even if it's not a system that you plan on trading. You never know when 5 years from now you might circle back around to it. You never know that you might not find something, even in the experimentation process itself. You might find that I have become better at back testing because I've been testing these things out. I've streamlined the whole process. That in and of itself is a skill that you could charge people for. I would add this bit of caution to anybody out there. If you're like me and your brain just starts running wild when you're watching videos, before you sit down to watch a video on trading, on new style, pray that God would protect you from distractions, from your own thoughts. What do I mean by that? You can get half of an idea and you start running, your brain goes on overdrive, and suddenly you've missed half the video, and now you spent 4 days going down a rabbit hole that you're never going to end up using. Generally speaking, when you're doing these types of learning experiences, there's gonna be 1 or 2 nuggets in every book, in every video, right? Don't go searching for the 15 that you found. Go find the one thing that you can really take away from it. The other thing that I would say in this whole process is, I love the story of Nehemiah. Segmentation to completion, as Myron Golden puts it. When you're doing these things, we can get caught up in the, I almost had a lie, the myth of multitasking. I'm going to do this over here and this over here and this over here. I'm going to test these things out. And Nehemiah said, hey, we're going to rebuild this wall. Everyone's going to build the wall in front of their house. And we're going to do the gates first. And then we're going to build the whole thing up to half of its height. And we're going to connect it all together. And then we're going to keep going. So he broke it down into these sections, and they completed each section. So do that same thing when you're trying to build some new system or test some new thing out. Say, hey, I'm gonna try this one thing, and I'm gonna test it, explore it, experiment, whatever. And I'm gonna add one thing to it and explore and experiment. I'm another thing to it. Same thing with your system when you're trying to figure out is it dead or not. Make one change and test it and fully. Make another change. As you build something, you're gonna build it in small pieces and then put them all together. I think about what Genesis says, right? Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That could have been it. But then it goes on to say day 1, he did this. Day 2, he did this. God could have easily said, let there be everything. And there was everything. And he saw it, and it was good. And he rested for 6 more days, right? He could have said that, but he didn't. He did day 1. He did darkness and light, and he was done. Separated the heavens above from the heavens below, and it was done. He had the moon and the sun and the stars, and it was done. He made the fish, and it was done. Made the land animals, and it was done. Bit by bit by bit, starting and finishing. Oftentimes, when we are trying to grow and learn and do all these things, we can get distracted and start 5 different projects. I know I'm speaking to myself in this one here. And that's not the whole point here. We're not on a quest to build 20 systems. We're just on a journey to every day be a better trader than we were the day before. So go out there and learn something new today. You're going to find that this system that you're worried about, this trading account, this entire calling of trading that you're feeling down about or you're feeling burnt out on, you're going to find renewed strength, renewed enthusiasm for it as you do new things that have nothing to do with it. And that in and of itself is the benefit. I've had so many new ideas in the business just because of watching business videos on things that I'm never going to do, but watching them spark this thing over here. So I would say this: does your system still work? Is it not working now? Does it seem like it's dead? Spend some time, break it down into those 3 components. Is it you? Is it the market? Or is it the system? And if it is the system, break that down into components. What specifically is it not doing right? If I look back far enough, could I have found this period? Is it on a cycle? Do I just need to put it on the shelf till the cycle is over with? But through it all, main thing Just keep growing. And make sure you are growing as a Christian every day as you grow as a trader every day. The one is more important than the other, but growing closer to God every day will make you a better trader. I guarantee you. It can't not do that. So that's it. It's kind of short and sweet. I wanted to make sure we didn't go too long in case the Starlink decided to give up the ghost. But if anybody has any questions out there, feel free to go to, you can, by the way, if we go to Godly Trading, there's a form down at the bottom of it now. You can send an email to us from the website. But reach out to us on all of those pages. You've got the option to sign up for a free call with me, and we can just jump on a Zoom call and just chat for any reason whatsoever. So that's it for the day, guys. Thank you for being here. I'll see y'all next time.